God's biggest problem, my pastor will always say this, God's biggest problem is not the world. It's not unbelievers. It's the people of the church. It's Christians. That's why everywhere they're talking about Christians are hypocrites, there's backbiting, they're eating tight, this is happening. So many things are happening. We are our own biggest issues. On Sunday mornings, we put on this mask, this beautiful mask. We go, we raise our hands, we cry during worship. Yes, pastor, preach it, pastor. And then we get in our cars, still in the parking lot of these churches, and we're like the devil. We're cussing our children. We're cussing our husbands, cussing our wives. You know, the laziest people in our jobs. We steal from jobs. We steal from our workplaces. We lie all the time. We abuse our children. So many things are happening. Now, why will I follow you to church when you are like that? I'm better off the way I am. You know, someone also said, the first Bible that anyone will ever see or ever read is you. It's not about having the biggest Bible. It's you. You are the first Bible that anyone will ever read. Your life should be so enticing, so amazing, that people should want to know what is the secret behind your success. What is the secret behind your peace of mind? What's the secret behind your ability to endure? What is the secret behind your patience? What is the secret behind that which you do? I don't want to look at your life and you are the worst human being to be around. You're gossiping, you're backbiting, you're doing all manner of stuff, you're doing immoral stuff, fornicating, doing all of that. And when Sunday morning comes, you put your holier than thou outfit on, and you say, let's go to church. I'm not following you. Now, I'm not here to condemn or to say or to say you're whatever. No, because remember, your spirit man is saved, but your mind, which comes your behaviors, your emotions, all of that made you who you are, is a process. It's a transforming. It's supposed to be a process, transforming, right? Transformation. It's a process. It doesn't happen in one day, 1 year, 2 years. It took you 30 years to get to who you are. It will not take one day to change you. Now, I believe in the supernatural abilities of God. I believe that. But you will not change in one day. It takes time. But you must be willing to not do a 360, rather a 180. To change the way you talk, the things you do, how you dress, how you behave. Because then, only can those people who you used to go to club with, can they say, wow, Shamika has really changed. Wow, Paul has really changed. Now, if I knew Paul used to be like this, and now he's like this, or I knew Sarah was like this, now she's like this, oh, I need to go to that church. Because the Sarah I knew 2 years ago, I knew last week, is not the Sarah of today. That is how people will become saved. It will make salvation so much easier. And I say this, sometimes our families are the hardest to lead to salvation because they've known us all our lives, seen and known, heard all the rubbish. And sometimes they get the worst of us. Even up to now, I struggle. They really get the worst of us. There are times we lose, we forget a little bit, right? And they see the worst out of us, so it's harder for them. But I tell you the truth, when you maintain, when you fall, you get back up. You fall, you get back up. You maintain that path. Who they knew you as and who you are today will be like night and day. So don't give up. But don't be the reason why someone says, I'm not going to church. Have you seen her? Have you seen my mom? She goes and she prays the loudest at church, cries, always falling under the Holy Ghost, the anointed falling. Pastor calls her the anointed. And she comes home and her mouth is terrible. Why do you think so many children backslided? So many children whose parents were always in the church, but now they don't believe at all. I know of someone who said, my mom, you see her at church and you think she's all of this, but it's because of her that it is hard for me to just believe in God. It's hard for me to talk, because how can someone who prays all the time, how can someone who goes to church all the time, who's early at church, who helps sweeps the church, who does this, how can someone be like this and yet come home the exact opposite? It's like living with the devil himself. Why should I believe in such God? Why? But I know by the grace of God that things can turn around.